Hollywood, a single word that means limitless imagination. For more than a century, it's been the beating heart of cinema, music, glamour, and dreams. A place where young artists arrived with nothing but a suitcase and a dream, and somehow became icons who shaped generations. From the roaring studios of the 1950s and the golden glow of the 70s, to the explosive creativity of the 80s and 90s, every decade had its legends. It was a time when film wasn't just entertainment. It was art, ambition, and escape. The stars we'll revisit today, over 140 of them, once stood at the center of that bright, burning dream. Some still shine on screen. Others have gracefully stepped back from the spotlight. But each of them helped define what Hollywood means. This isn't just a then and now. This is a tribute to the faces, the films, and the transformations that tell the story of how Hollywood became the empire of modern entertainment. So sit back and travel through time as we explore how the legends of yesterday became the icons of forever. If the 1960s gave birth to cinematic rebellion, the 1970s perfected it. It was the age of actors like Robert Duvall, Gene Hackman, and Jack Nicholson who brought realism and grit to the screen. They broke the rules, made audiences uncomfortable, and gave us stories that felt painfully, beautifully real. Then came the 1980s, an era of transformation. The lights were brighter, the budgets were bigger, and the personalities were larger than life. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the bodybuilder from Austria, became the face of power and determination. Eddie Murphy lit up the screen with comedy that changed the rhythm of Hollywood forever. Tom Cruise soared from fighter jets to movie stardom, representing ambition itself. And the women? They were forces of nature. Sigourney Weaver redefined strength with her fearless roles. Jessica Lange, Diane Keaton, Sally Field, and Michelle Pfeiffer proved that beauty and brilliance could coexist. They weren't just Hollywood's stars. They were its soul. The 1990s ushered in a new generation of actors who grew up on those classic names and built their own paths. Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman, Julia Roberts, Meg Ryan, Winona Ryder. Their faces filled magazine covers, but their performances filled hearts. Their stories weren't about fame. They were about transformation, resilience, and the courage to keep evolving in an ever-changing industry. And then there are the timeless icons: Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Meryl Streep, Clint Eastwood, whose careers became case studies in excellence. Decade after decade, they adapted, redefined, and refused to fade. They became the masters who taught the next generation that longevity in Hollywood isn't about staying young, it's about staying real. But beyond the camera, the magic continued. Hollywood wasn't just a movie capital, it was a cultural movement. It gave us not only films, but fashion, music, style, and language that spread across the globe. From the rock energy of the 80s to the emotional ballads of the 90s, cinema and music evolved side by side, shaping the rhythm of pop culture. Even as technology changed, from film reels to digital screens, the spirit of Hollywood stayed alive. It adapted to streaming, AI, and global storytelling. But its roots remain in one timeless idea: the power of human emotion on screen. And what's truly fascinating is how gracefully many of these actors aged, how they embraced time rather than fighting it. They became living proof that fame fades, but legacy doesn't. Michael Douglas turned from leading man to wise mentor. Diane Lane continues to balance elegance with authenticity. Jeff Goldblum became the symbol of eccentric charm that only gets better with age. Michelle Yeoh, after decades of hard work, became an Oscar-winning trailblazer, showing that dreams never expire. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every quiet moment tells a story of passion, survival, and love for the art. This is what makes the Hollywood legends truly immortal. Behind every red carpet smile was a story of sacrifice. Behind every hit film, years of unseen effort. And behind every fading photograph, a heart that once believed the impossible could happen, and somehow made it real. From silent black and white reels to billion-dollar franchises, from the Walk of Fame to streaming screens worldwide, Hollywood remains the greatest stage ever built. And its stars? The brightest storytellers the world has ever known. As the years go by, the world changes, styles fade, technology evolves, and trends come and go. But Hollywood remains that one shining beacon, standing tall through time. It's more than just a place. It's an idea. One built on dreams, determination, and the belief that imagination has no limits. From black and white frames to digital masterpieces, from roaring crowds to streaming screens, the heartbeat of Hollywood has never stopped. The stars we've seen in this video, over 140 of them, were not just performers. They were storytellers. They were pioneers who brought emotion to life, who made laughter echo through theaters, and who showed us that art can be more powerful than words. For every camera flash and red carpet moment, there were sleepless nights, endless auditions, and broken hearts. Fame was never free. It came with sacrifice. And yet they gave everything, their time, their youth, their privacy, so that the world could dream a little bigger. Think about it. When we watch Tom Cruise run across rooftops, or Julia Roberts flash that unforgettable smile, it wasn't just entertainment. It was inspiration. When Arnold Schwarzenegger showed us that impossible can be conquered, or Michelle Yeoh broke barriers that once seemed untouchable, they weren't just acting, they were rewriting history. Hollywood has always been about reinvention, and the legends who made it golden learned how to evolve with time. They weren't frozen in their youth, they carried it with grace into every new decade. They aged, yes, but they aged beautifully, with purpose, with presence, and with pride. Some stars chose quiet lives after fame, trading spotlights for family dinners and small-town sunsets. Others are still out there, leading new generations on screen, proving that passion never retires. And even those who have left this world, their light still shines in every movie frame, every soundtrack, and every memory they gave us. When you think of Hollywood, you think of more than movies. You think of moments. Moments that defined eras. Moments that made us cry, laugh, believe, and dream. Moments that felt like magic, because in many ways they were. Behind all the glamour and gold statues, Hollywood has always been about one simple truth. A good story can change your life. And the people who told those stories, they're the reason Hollywood is eternal. The faces you saw in their 20s and 30s, vibrant, daring, full of fire, are now symbols of endurance. They remind us that time may change appearances, but it cannot erase legacy. It cannot silence talent. It cannot dim a light that was born to shine. So, to every legend who shaped this world of imagination, we honor you. To every actor who gave their heart to the screen, we remember you. And to every dreamer watching right now, never forget, the same spirit that built Hollywood still lives in you. Because Hollywood isn't just in California. It's in every corner of the world where someone dares to dream, where someone writes a story, sings a song, or imagines something bigger than themselves. So as the curtain falls on today's video, take a moment to look back and realize how far we've all come. From the grainy film reels of the past to the crystal clear visions of today, the story continues. The names may change, the faces may fade, but the magic, that unexplainable spark that makes us believe, will never die. Because Hollywood is not a place, it's forever. If you've loved revisiting these legends, if their journeys remind you of why we fell in love with the movies in the first place, then make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to keep the golden era alive. Tell us in the comments, which Hollywood legend still inspires you today? Thank you for watching, for remembering, and for being part of this celebration of film, art, and timeless storytelling. Until next time, this is Hollywood, then and now, and the story never truly ends.